The Jacobite uprising in Cornwall of 1715 was the last uprising against the British Crown to take place in the county of Cornwall. Background information to the event. On the 1st of August 1714, Queen Anne had died and George, Elector of Hanover, the son of the Electress Sophia, granddaughter of James I, was proclaimed king under the Act of Settlement of 1701. Naturally, the legitimate heir James, son of James II of England, protested against this, and those who believed in his rights took stronger steps than protestations, though they took a good year to get underway. Events in Cornwall. The key characters of the Jacobite uprising in Cornwall were James Butler, 2nd Duke of Ormond, and Henry St. John, 1st Viscount Bolingbroke. They were leaders of the High Tories. Part of the scheme was to capture Bristol, Exeter and Plymouth. With these important places in the hands of the Jacobites, they hoped that other smaller towns would join the cause. Ormond had implicit confidence in Colonel Maclean, who had been sent to Devon and Cornwall to visit prominent members of the Tory party, and others likely to support the Pretenders' cause. It turned out that Maclean was probably a spy who supplied the ministry with names of Jacobite adherents, and measures were taken to prevent their committing mischief or folly. On the 22nd of September, John Anstice, MP for Launceston, was arrested for plotting an uprising, and on the 6th of October Sir Richard Vivian of Trelawarren, MP for Cornwall and the most influential Jacobite in the West, was taken and sent to London in the custody of a messenger. On the 7th of October, Mr. James Painter of Trekenning proclaimed the Pretender in the market square at St. Columb Major in Cornwall. At this time, the representative of the government in Cornwall was Hugh Boscawen of Tregothnan. This gentleman called out the militia and took measures which effectively put an end to any attempt at a rising. James Painter and his servant, along with fellow rebel Henry Dar, fled to London and remained undiscovered for some time. Painter's servant at this time was sending letters to a sweetheart at St. Columb, and it seems that the postmaster suspected that the letter came from one of the suspects, and inspecting the letter found that it come from London. Immediately warrants were ordered, but they denied the names until eventually a messenger was sent to London who knew them particularly well, and they were found to be the same persons. Some time later, Painter and his fellow rebels were sent to Newgate to be tried for high treason. Painter claimed to be a judge in Cornwall, so he was tried at Launceston. Here Henry Dar died in the prison. Eventually Painter was acquitted by a packed Jacobite jury. Following the release of the rebels, friends appeared with white cockades in their hats. As a token of joy, they were welcomed with bonfire and ball all the way to Land's End. Proclamation at St. Columb. In October 1716, the names associated with the proclamation of James III at St. Columb were as follows: James Painter, John; Thomas Bishop, Gent; Henry Dar, Anthony Hoskin, Francis Brewer, John; Richard Whitford, John Angove, Richard Meter. According to Henry Jenner, it seems probable that the postmaster who opened the letter from James Painter's servant was no other than the celebrated Ralph Allen, afterwards of Bar. He certainly was at St. Columb post office at the time, and his distinguishing himself by his scrupulous performance may have been the beginning of his fortunes in fiction. Best, G.M. The Jacobite Murders. Robert Hale Limited mentions the events in Cornwall. Lee, Catherine. When Fortune Frowns. London, Horace Cox. A fictional account based on historical facts of the Jacobite rising in Cornwall.